a week and a half on Saturday night's main event. Now, Gunther came out, he did a promo, and he talked about how he wanted someone to step up who cares about his World Heavyweight title. Jey Uso interrupts him and challenges him to a match for the world title for Saturday night's main event, January 25th. Gunther said that he'll expose Jey Uso for being a really good tag team player and accepts his match challenge. Jey said he was going to prove him wrong on January 25th. I just want to know, are we just trying to see how far we can push Jey Uso fans? I get that he's in a world title picture. I get that he's going to have a great match with Gunther. I get that he's going to lose. If you want to put him in that spot, fine. But why are we giving him a week and a half heads up? Why are we giving him a week and a half of build to build him up as a guy that realistically can beat Gunther? Because I think if you poll most people, they would go, yeah, he has no shot at dethroning Gunther. He certainly has no shot at doing so on a week and a half notice, and he certainly doesn't have any right to do so at Saturday night's main event. I get why they booked this match. It will be the main event. It will be a great match. I have no doubt. But what does this do to benefit Jey? The fact that he's in another big-time spot against another big-time opponent in a big-time title match, yet he loses yet again? Is that what we're trying to accomplish here? Because outside of just giving a great opponent to Gunther, I don't know how this helps Jey. He's already at that, can he break through the glass ceiling and win the big one? He hasn't done that. He's not doing it here. Why are we doing this? You need Gunther to get over a year ago even more. You put Jey over him. You need to get Braun Breaker over. You get Jey Uso to do the honors. I simply do not understand the point of this match. I don't understand the booking philosophy. I don't understand it. I don't understand what the end goal is, how this benefits Jey more than he is. He's right there. He can't go any further until he wins the world title. He's that over with his fan base. So I don't know what they're doing. Gunther's a babyface, by the way, so it doesn't add heel heat. I sincerely don't know what they're doing. In the meantime, we can get to the opening segment because CM Punk kicked off the show and he revealed that he would be in the Royal Rumble, which I'm convinced that he had already declared once before, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. So he then came out and he tried to say that Seth Rollins was in his rearview mirror, only for Seth Rollins to come out right on cue. And I love the fact that Punk was talking into the mic during Rollins's entrance. Like he was almost like bent down on a knee and just like kind of leaning up against the ropes. And he was just talking, like he was almost like talking to himself, but he was doing it in the microphone. So I thought that was pretty clever. Anyways, Rollins came out and said he was a disappointment to himself for losing. However, he is vowing to not only enter the Royal Rumble, but to win the Royal Rumble and to kill CM Punk's dreams of making it to WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre, he came out to confront both of them and say that they are too focused on each other while there's a bigger problem going on because Roman Reigns is going to be playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, and therefore he has entered himself into the Royal Rumble. Rollins and Punk, they wanted to fight. McIntyre declined and told them that he will see them in Indianapolis. So a fantastic opening segment. It set the scene. They are absolutely loading up this Royal Rumble, and just based off of the big time names that they're already confirmed for this match, I don't know how many surprises we're going to get. The surprises in terms of like past legends has really, really been cut down in the Triple H era. That's not a bad thing. That's not a good thing. It's just a reality of the situation. I think you can sprinkle in one or two. You have a surprise return here and there, and then you go with the rest of the roster because you want to get that roster over. Royal Rumble is one of the best events to get over talent. It's one of the bigger events to get over talent, and I look forward to seeing what they can do with that said talent come the Royal Rumble. Penta, he has arrived. Penta defeated Chad Gable in his promotional debut. It was a really good match. They did a phenomenal job of building up Penta. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee did an astounding job at making him feel like a big time deal. I thought they did an extraordinarily great job at getting this guy over, making him a big time star. And I'm curious to see how far they go with him as a single star, considering that most believe that his brother Ray Phoenix is quickly following him. So we will see, but fantastic job. The only thing I could necessarily nitpick was his post-match promo. I thought he went a little long and really leaned into Spanish to the point where like the latter part of the promos in Spanish, but he'll get that cleaned up. That's not a big issue. They'll probably strip him more and more, but pretty good outing for Sheamus. Went over Ludwig Kaiser in a hard-hitting match, as you would expect, and all this was done was to have Sheamus have a brief confrontation with Braun Breaker at ringside, and this set up their Saturday night's main event match. Sheamus will go after the IC title, a title of which he cannot win. So that is that. A few news and notes. They did a segment where Karrion Kross revealed to The Miz that the Wyatt Six had been sent to SmackDown, and that leads us to our next contest. Lyra Valkyria defeated Dakota Kai to win the Women's Intercontinental Championship title tournament. Shout out to Sportskeeda's Chris Featherstone. He had reported earlier today, early in the morning, that this was going to be the outcome, that Valkyria was going to go over. I thought it was the right choice. She was an established star in NXT UK. She was an established star in the NXT brand, and she is going to be doing a lot of big things on the main roster. So I was happy to see that as well. And then we had Sami Zayn going over The Miz, and this was just building up Sami even more. It was a fine match. You get what you get out of The Miz. Shout out to that dude. He is still doing this thing at 39 years old, still trying to get over, still trying to act the part, know the part. I mean, it's The Miz, right? You know what you're going to get with him. It was a solid outing. Rhea Ripley comes out for a segment, our newly crowned women's world champion, and she declared that mommy is back on top. She said that she knew that it sounded like a broken record to some, but wanted to remind those who had forgotten who Rhea Bloody Ripley was. She said that she was one of the most dominant women in WWE and once again women's world champion. Nia Jax interrupted. Nia Jax, yes. She informed us that she would win the Royal Rumble and take whatever title she wanted. Tiffany Stratton and Rhea Ripley might think that they're on top, but Jax's was the only woman on top of the division. Jax had a few words for Bayley, who was still, she was sitting in the crowd. She's going to work a dark match. So Bayley jumped the barricade and entered the ring. Bayley confronted Jax. She said that it wasn't her show, but this was her city. She called Jax a big old dumb idiot. So Jax shoved her on her own. Rhea headbutted Jax. Jax headbutted her back to the ground. Bayley and Ripley worked together to dump Jax from the ring. Bayley was about to grab Rhea's title, but Rhea grabbed it. Instead, they hugged, and Bayley stared at the belt as Ripley held it up. So a fine segment. I don't necessarily see this as like Nia Jax going to Raw necessarily, but they are certainly trying to get Nia Jax over after losing the Women's Championship to Tiffany Stratton. And then the main event. So it was Damian Priest going over Finn Balor in a street fight. This was their blow-off match in their feud. The match itself was horrendous because it was so overbooked. There was outside interference from Judgment Day. There was outside interference from War Raiders. They did a spot where Priest hit a Falcon Arrow off the top of a barricade through a table. They used tables. They used chairs. They used kendo sticks. Typical street fight. You take away the booking and the overbooking of it, these guys worked their butts off and they put on a really good performance. It's just the outside interference just really overshadowed it. But props to Priest, props to Balor for finally getting a blow off here.